about to try to take something that just came out. What the shit the fuck you talking about? This ain't like new Jordans, bro.
Lucky.
These ain't the new Jordans, bro. I'm not finna just go get something just because it came out. And it's like, what kind of scientific
sneakers out?
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, it just dropped. Go ahead, get the new drop.
Lucky Lefty podcast. I'll be your boy Shaun Davis at SD2 Mics. That dude, Lucky, the original Lucky himself, Malik Zaire. We are brought to you by Onora Whisky, OnoraWhisky.com. It's that premium American whiskey at OnoraWhisky.com. And if you drink, make sure that you drink responsibly. I want to give a special shout out to Joe Hutchinson this morning as he jumps in with us, locks in with us live from Bamberg, Germany.
Ooh, international.
Notre Dame, we're an international brand, baby. LL Nation,
baby.
Good.
And it's good that you're tuning in from Germany because you're going to have to get the real news over on this podcast going on about this big week, maybe the biggest week in college football this year.
Yeah. The Key to 3000 has a funny comment. It's that smirk, bro, like in spades when you got all the aces and 13 trump cards. Coach Freeman knows what he has this year. We are indeed.
It's been a lot of bad disrespect. Oh.
I think that Spades might be the second game I talk the most trash.
Wait, which game?
Spades. Like I think if you can't play, I'm not a good partner to have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you're a novice with Spades, I'm not a good partner for you. I'm not a good partner for you, man.
The experience won't be fun, is what you're saying.
No, not at all. Not at all. I take that game way too serious. Probably spent way too much time in the lounges down at U of I playing. What I probably should have been in the books. But man, we're going to talk about the Notre Dame defense versus the Ohio State offense today, and then we're going to talk about Marcus Freeman and his comments. But I look, man, I don't know if you saw Holly Rowe's video. You know, we showed the video of her last week, basically with her fruit kebab, talking about how
sweating on camera, unprofessional.
You know, I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, this is ridiculous, right? So yesterday, she comes onto the Notre Dame campus, bro. And I just don't think this is anywhere near as exciting as what she portrayed when she was at Ohio State. Like, I just felt like and I want LL to tell me, like, do you think what she did in Notre Dame will ever replace how over the top she was for Ohio State? It was just too much, bro. It was too much. This is Holly Rowe.
Okay, I think you know me very well that I love college football, and I'm having this first experience of my lifetime. I think I'm actually gonna cry right now. Look where I am. This is the first time in my life because we never get to cover games here. Oh my gosh. How many wonderful players have come down this stairwell? Oh. And they have just kept it so true. I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to keep it pure. Oh my gosh. I just feel like I'm on hallowed ground right now. Oh my gosh. Oh. Hello, beautiful. No, you don't understand. ESPN does never get to cover games here. This is like a little bit of a dream come true for me. Oh my gosh. Hi. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, good job, Notre Dame. Good job.
Good job.
Oh my gosh, look at this. I've seen this on TV my whole life. So so cool. It's gorgeous.
What?
Okay, these helmets are so pretty.
Oh my goodness. This is ridiculous, man.
Oh, this is cool. I've not seen that.
This is ridiculous.
Is she trying to like turn on Notre Dame fans or something?
Dude.
What is her? Can you talk about the football team, god dang it? What are you talking about? You ain't giving a tour of the campus. This ain't no welcome to Notre Dame brochure. Like, this is what they have at school.
The old leather helmets. Wow.
What is she doing? Man, listen.
Bro.
You don't take your ass on somewhere. What
It's Joe. Big
over here
Woo.
salivating over the stadium and the helmets and shit? Get real, ESPN. That's why you ain't never came. We don't allow you to come over here because you ain't gonna talk about the game. You're gonna talk about the grass. You're gonna touch their helmets and stuff. What are you doing?
She said, "Good job to the field, bro."
Good job.
Good
What do you
job,
mean? It's
bro.
turf.
Good
You don't
job.
even. Man, this is why we need to be blowing teams out by 50,000. What are they talking about?
Oh man.
Did she talk any? She didn't talk football. I'm glad she didn't touch the sign because I would have been like, get off the sign.
No, now you know what? I'll
glad she
keep it
didn't
a
touch
buck.
the sign.
I went to cover my first Marcus Freeman press conference in March. And I was standing there with the security guard, and he saw me because, the press room is like the main gate over to the left, which is the same walkway that goes down that tunnel to the field. And the field had just a little bit of snow on it. And he saw me looking at the field, and he was really nice. And he said, "Go ahead." And he let me walk. So that tunnel, as a fan, if you ever get the chance to like walk down that tunnel, you feel it. Like you feel the history, you feel like the players that have come through that tunnel, the tradition, it hits you, and you're like, okay. So like when she got to the tunnel, I got it. I'll even give her a little credit for feeling a little something walking down the stairs to the play like a champion. Board.
Yeah, but I get all that. I get all that.
She was smart enough not to disrespect the board, though. If she had tapped the board, I probably would have been like, see, now you're doing way too much. You have to earn the right to tap that board.
But this ain't no museum.
That's the way she wanted to treat it, bro.
And I'm like, this ain't, what are you doing?
She's saying, well, they're really not that good. So I'll focus on the actual tradition of the program. And this is what I'll put out. She didn't show any video of the Ohio State program. She literally jumped in her car, overjoyed.
Talking about couldn't hold back as she's sweating on camera. You couldn't even pat yourself down before you start going on and on about what you excited about the football team.
Sweat was just glistening all over. Oh, ball.
Like a honey baked ham. There was a honey baked ham session. Ain't nobody want to hear you talking while you doing all that. And the thing is, it's like,
did you just say a honey baked ham session?
Yeah, glistening like a honey glazed honey baked ham. That's what it looked like. Like, what are you talking about? So my thing is,
oh man,
how are you not doing none of that about? You didn't even talk about the football team. That's what I find disrespectful. Yeah. We got enough video and content of how beautiful the campus looks. And Holly, you not no fan. How you just do your job everywhere else in America? You come here and don't do your job. You shooting content for your Pinterest. This ain't content for what you get hired for. Nobody cares on that follow you on Holly Road ESPN care about you touring something. Talking about you like what this look like. Good job, field. Nobody care about it. And you did it on purpose.
Yes.
You did it on purpose.
Yes.
Because you knew that content wasn't it wasn't gonna get no views. That's the stuff you put on Facebook where your family comment, oh, I want to go, send me a shirt from the bookstore, from the family. Football fans is laughing at us. You're like, oh man, she ain't taking them serious. Right. So I can't take you serious, Miss Honey Glaze, Honey Baked Ham. Over there cheesing and grinning, talking about what you excited about. Their D-line is trash. What are you talking about? What? So don't be walking around. I don't know who let her in. One of them custodians you probably got sweet on. Don't let her in next time unless she gonna talk football. She got paid to talk about football. She go everywhere else in America. Can't wait to talk about football and then get to us and want to be a tourist. What is that? What is that? We the number 3 team in the country. Whoa. Top 5 team in the country. That's crazy. That's like me being an educator and going in, instead of teaching, I want to do some other stuff.
I guess you didn't treat her right, dude. I guess she didn't get one of those paper bag lunches that Brian Kelly talks about.
Yeah.
She didn't get the fruit kebab from us, so we didn't make her happy.
I mean, is it a food that we could have fed you? We got great stuff in the cafeteria. If that's what it takes, clearly. Some fresh cut fruit, or something. I mean, whatever. I don't know how you were sweating in the last video because you wasn't practicing with the team. So how did you just have the encouragement to do all that? I don't know.
Lucky.
We gotta win. We gotta win.
It's to that point, right? Where it's like the national media is like doing way too much. They're doing way too much.
Way too much. Just try. It's like, okay, I get it. If we was a team that wasn't in contention or nothing, never made the playoffs, we just a team that was below 500. Okay. But y'all just talking crazy from the point spread to the fans to the delusional journalists that take lazy takes. It's like, okay, enough.
Well, bro, Mark, we're gonna break down the offense of Ohio State against the Notre Dame defense in a minute. But Marcus Freeman, he met with the press on yesterday, and the name of the show that we put up with his picture is the same song. And Marcus Freeman is tired of the same questions, bro. What does it feel like taking your team into where you played? What are your emotions about playing Ohio State? And it's like, in the faces he makes, he's just, you could tell he is ready to take the field. He's like, man, let's just go play.
Yeah, because y'all doing too much. This is just crazy.
And I like the chip he has on his shoulder. He's developed the chip. And, he was asked about what would be the most important thing for him this week. And Marcus Freeman, just in, typical Marcus Freeman form, was quite open and talked about, look, I'm focused on making sure that my team is prepared.
I've coached in the game as a head coach, so it's not new. But again, your emotion, you spend time wondering what do you have to do to make sure your team's prepared. And that's where my focus has been, is that it's all in the preparation. And what have we done and what haven't we done to make sure this team is prepared? I spend countless hours. That's all I worry about. Is, are we preparing the right way? Is this team prepared for what we're going to encounter Saturday night in Columbus, Ohio? And that's what I'll spend the rest of this week thinking about.
It was plain and simple for him.
And first of all, my man mean business. He got his nice, relaxed, button up, with sleeves rolled up because he was in there grinding, watching film, probably getting off a movie set. He's shooting commercials every other week. So it's like, at this point, it's like, why are y'all trying me like this? Have I not shown enough? What first-year coach has done this much so far? And y'all talking to me like I didn't go get the #1 recruiting class. Y'all talking to me like I didn't go snatch a defensive coordinator from a Super Bowl team. Y'all talking to me like I didn't just keep a 14 sack coming back who could have easily made millions. You talking to me like I didn't just go get a top safety transfer after we just put one in the league first round. What are you talking about? How are we not going to be prepared? I told you my identity. Check. We didn't have to question that. I knew it. Y'all knew what I was doing. I got recruited on lock. Check. For 2 years so far. Sealed up a class before the year even started. Check. Got my staff right. Check. Retention. Check. I got the fan base buzzing. Check. What transfer portal? Check. NIL? Check. I done got a couple commercials. Check. What do y'all keep asking me this for? I'm clearly aware that we have a huge game because I've been checking boxes. Y'all had questions about the defense. I done went and got so many defensive players that it don't even matter. You just gonna be seeing names every week. What do y'all want? I don't see nobody questioning, is Brian Kelly gonna be ready for Chattanooga first week? Who they play? It don't even matter.
They got Florida State games. They have Florida State game too. Who do they play this week?
Yeah, exactly. That's who they worried about. We got bigger fish to fry. So, relax. Marcus Freeman got this. He's been prepared. He's been prepared. He wasn't BSing around on his quarterback. That's the hallmark of a guy that's serious. He told you what, day 2 of camp? Yeah, we got our guy.
Yeah.
What else do you need? Everything that we lacked years before, he addressed before we even got there week 1. Named the quarterback, got our identity going, got recruiting on top, got the coaching staff together. What else do you need? So I'm not worried about what people not aware of. But for a guy who hasn't had his own season yet, you would think he was an experienced vet already. So that's what's exciting about this first game.
And being around this team, preparation is definitely about leadership, which he pointed out yesterday is the one thing that he holds fast to. The leadership that he has on this team. Top to bottom, both sides of the ball. He feels like it's going to carry the day going into that matchup against Ohio State. Heck, after watching week 0, I know for a fact they're going to go on about a 5 or 6 game run because North Carolina, their defense is still trash. Still trash. Marshall,
FAMU scored 31 points.
Running through September.
FAMU scored 31 points.
Without 20 players, bro.
FAMU.
Hey, relax now. That's still HBCU, bro.
Okay, but 31.
100.
But 31, Shaun.
Hey, they might lose the game, but they're gonna win the halftime show.
30. Oh yeah, but
they win the halftime show.
I'm just saying, for a defense that's giving up 31 to a HBCU that isn't the Jackson States of the world, Tyler Buckner might break the record, man.
You said that isn't the Jackson States of the world?
Yeah.
But I like the preparation of this team. Leadership, I like everything they've done. The competitive nature of the camp. You talked about Maris Leofow being full go. Jared Patterson is going to get back into practice, I believe, tomorrow. And from that point, it's going to be up to Jared Patterson. He won't be 100% more than likely. But it's up to him and how much he can produce and the pain tolerance. Man, I'm sure they have some stuff that they can inject them with pregame. During the game,
the question is, are you hurting that seriously before week 1?
It's a pretty serious foot sprain.
I mean, good grief! Like
a foot sprain for a 300-pounder is pretty serious, bro. And then
the thing we do know is that you don't get healthier.
Yeah.
As the season goes on, so if this is the best we're gonna get, if the season is just declining after this,
would you rather rest him?
No, fuck.
Wait a minute. You just said he's not going to get any healthier as the season.
Oh, get him at his best. This is his best then. Clearly, this will be his best if he's
let him rock out. Let him rock out against Ohio State and then rest him for Marshall, Cal, and North Carolina.
Yeah, just until November. Rest him till November. Shit.
Bring him back in October. Late October.
Put him back on the shelf. Give him that Blake Fisher treatment. First game played, rest of you good till we need you.
Man, so the competitive nature is something you turned about. And our boy JD Bertrand, like a famous clip, made our top 5 list of the best off-season clips. Hollywood here was on set Friday. That's why he missed the show. So he didn't get a chance to cast his vote for the best off-season clip. Of course, the winner of the best off-season clip was Braden Lindsay and his release packages. Hands down, clip of the off-season. Hands down, followed right behind was Marcus Freeman's We're Not Changing. That clip was top 3 as well. So in all of that, one of the clips that also made the top 5 was JD Bertrand post Fiesta Bowl. And it was almost like he was pleading or making a plea to Irish fans to stay with us, trust in us, like we were prepared. Don't turn your back on our new leader. He did everything. He put us in the right spots. He told us what they were going to do, and we didn't execute. And now we're about to go back to the drawing board, and we're going to get better at tackling. We're going to get better at coverage. We're going to get better at making those plays in key moments. And you're going to see that we're going to be a better team for it. And he pretty much rang the bell like it's time to go to work for the rest of the players. And that's why he's one of the leaders on this team. So you think about preparation. I think we both agree that the difference between this game and the Fiesta Bowl is that he went into the Fiesta Bowl as a head coach, giving full autonomy to his assistants to coach. He took ownership over making sure that the preparation and competition was ratcheted up leading into the Fiesta Bowl to get the team prepared to send their seniors out correctly. The same thing continued on. Spring, summer, fall, competition. We're not letting loose 100%, every rep. No such thing as giving 75%, 80%. If you're not ready to give 100% physically, go sit down until you're ready to give 100%. We're not changing. We're up tempo. If you can't make it through practice, that's up to you. You need to get with the trainers and make sure that you're prepared to come back the next day and able to make it through a full practice. This is the tone that's been set. This is the culture that is now at Notre Dame that you, my brother, can speak when you guys prepare for big games or just games in general. That wasn't the case. It was definitely a much slower pace.
Yeah.
The first team got the bulk of the reps. There wasn't a lot of competition.
Yeah, I think it just really was built into the whole system thing.
Yeah.
When you became a system and you became a consistent system, you were focused on your ones. We was like North Carolina. I don't know if anybody watched North Carolina last season. They only played 6 guys the entire season. No subs. Basketball squad. No subs, no nothing. They played the 6th the entire game. So I think that's kind of like, playing your best, and then the whole mantra of next man in came into the situation because it's like, okay, Next man in is you better just be prepared if your time comes, which is a lot of anxiety for, super competitive players who don't get a chance. Like your chance comes when you least expect it. And I think that Marcus Freeman and his philosophy and practice, everybody's going to compete. Everybody's going to be out there. You're going to be asked to do many different things. And where you lay is through your own competition.
Yeah.
Before it was due to, politics of things. We like this guy. We don't like this guy. This guy fits. This guy doesn't fit. Now it's truly the best 11 on defense in particular is going to be out there. And I think it's going to stand true to what it's going to look like on the field.
That's interesting you say that. Wow. So you're basically saying there were times in the past where the best guys weren't necessarily on the field.
100%. 100%. But that's something that we all understood. It was more like, all right, we were so stuck on next man in. If you get your chance, shit, you better get right. But I do feel, it's a lot of that in a lot of different places in college football, not just Notre Dame at that time. But with this team in particular, I feel better to think that the coaches will, in their mind, put the best guys out there, but also make it competitive enough to where it'll shake out to where guys know, okay, that's the one guy for right now. We get it. We not fighting it. It just he earned it kind of thing.
Lucky Lefty podcast. He also talked about his message to his team and what he's going to be saying to his team for this particular game. Give it a listen.
Again, what really matters is the message to the team is still 53 and a third, by 120. And what we can't do is let those things that are outside those white lines affect what we do on the field. Because if you do, it's going to be a long game. But if you can really focus on and understand it's what matters between those white lines, that really impacts the game. If we can focus on that and we can execute, then, you don't let those outside sources really affect.
It's a lot of outside noise, man. Point spread now up to about 17.5 at certain sports books. Look, there's a lot of money coming in on Ohio State. I think Vegas is about to make a killing this weekend. I'm going to keep it up. I think Vegas is going to wake up Sunday morning like, yes, we did it.
Yes.
We did it. We can go, man. We can shut down for the rest of the year. These idiots believed the line we put out there, hooked them. They kept putting the money up, and they kept betting the higher the spread went. We got them.
Yeah, Vegas looking to rob y'all now. Don't get fooled, because the what they say, the pot of gold is always at the end of the rainbow, and this rainbow is Irish. So you filling up that pot, but it ain't for y'all. Y'all gonna be real disappointed when that rainbow ends in Irish, and we sitting on that gold that y'all done put in on that pot.
Yep. All of the Vegas guys are gonna be playing that Holly Road clip. Good job, Notre Dame. Good job.
Yeah, we're gonna hit that. Good job, Field.
I can't believe the nerve.
The nerve.
The nerve.
How you become an unfootball journalist?
Yeah.
You didn't even, did you know where the Goog was? Nobody directed you to where the actual action was taking place. I'm sure when you went to Ohio State campus, they said, okay, well, if you want to see the players in the practice, you go over here, boom, send your MapQuest, whatever. We have a smaller campus. It ain't hard to find the football players. You didn't go to Ohio State and not know where the players were. You didn't go to the stadium and start, oh, the Horseshoe is the biggest stadium in college football. It's going to be great for a matchup with Notre Dame. No. You went to the practice field, way off campus on the side road before you even get to the campus. So much so you were sweating, so you had to have been out there in doing the little drill work, individual work, taking on pass blocks and stuff. Because, like, what?
You are not going to let this go, are you?
No. So we need to win.
Yo,
and
so
Vegas,
last season, last season, the Ohio State offense averaged 45.7 points per game, number one in the nation. They were number one at 561.5 yards per game, and they were number one at 0.637 points per play at 7.8 yards per play, which was number one as well. Needless to say, they were explosive as hell. And they lose 2 first-round wide receivers on the outside, and we know that they have a penchant for creating and developing more wide receivers, great wide receivers under Brian Hartline. We know that.
And shout out Keenan Bailey. He was a former Notre Dame GA, or he was around the area. He's heavy,
right?
Heavy on recruitment with the receivers and development, man. He's good at his job over there.
Now, I will say this. The third down conversions were 5th in the nation at 52%. I don't think there's anywhere in the world they get close to 50% on third downs on Saturday night. I'm willing to bet that.
I think they'll have a rough first start, man. It's not easy to – I just think that most people believe Ohio State will be on all cylinders the first snap of the season, and that's just – they will be closer than a lot of teams, but they're not going to be hitting on all cylinders the first game, first snap of the season. Neither will we, but shit, we know we're not going to hit on all cylinders the whole season. You know, it's going to be ups and downs, but Ohio State is dependent on that. They dependent that Ohio State is going to roll out there and be on fire and drop 50 like it's nothing.
Now, here's the kicker with this offense and this team. They ranked 61st in penalties per play. They ranked 60th in penalties per game at 6.5. Penalty yards per game, 69th at 60 per game. It's not a disciplined team, bro. And this is where I go into first-time starters at wide receiver with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Fleming, and, you know, as they book in Jackson Smith and Jigba Smith, or Smith and Jigba. You can talk about all the talent in the world, dude. You're breaking new receivers in just like Notre Dame's breaking in a first-time starter at quarterback.
That's right.
The experience
some of our break-ins are guys that have been there.
Yes.
Brandon Joseph been there.
Cam Hart has been there.
Cam Hart's been there. Isaiah Foster coming back because he's been there.
He's been there.
So we got been there guys. You got guys that are undisciplined that you want to get better. They got more Clarence Lewis than we do. That defense got a lot to prove on stopping the run.
Very much so.
We had one guy having to improve himself on stopping the pass.
Yeah.
But we fixed our issues. But have you fixed y'all? Y'all will never know till a game. We can look at an individual and see his development. Y'all getting a new defensive coordinator. Y'all think y'all just going to roll out with a new defensive coordinator with all new calls, all new flow, and think y'all finna stop the run? Come on now.
They run the ball 46% of the time. Now, you would think a team and a quarterback with that many passing yards and that many touchdowns would have a wider margin between pass versus run percentage. When I saw that they ran the ball 46% of the time, it made sense to me while we've been stressing stop TreVeyon Henderson. Stop TreVeyon Henderson. If you do that, their offense is not as good. Just flat out.
We'll take it. Look, absolutely. We can just. I think it's fool's gold to try to take away what they do the best right now. Trying to stop them from passing and having 300-400 yards passing. Well, not 400. That's not. Not 400. But trying to stop 300 yards passing. That's for them and this team. Probably the hardest challenge out of all the teams we'll face in that area. But if we talking about shutting down that run, being good in the middle, like Coach Freeman wanted to do coming out of the Fiesta Bowl, being solid in that middle, which I think we've addressed those issues. That's the matchup that I'm watching to win. Because if we win that, you know, CJ can't go 50 for 50 now. You know what I'm saying? He can't go 49 for 49 and 400 yards now. So
you know what? Shaun Stewart has an interesting comment. Thank you, Shaun, for tapping in. Look what we did to Travis Etienne. Now, if we got if you telling me Joku is coming back for this game, if I got Jeremiah who's scoring more lining up for this game, I feel real comfortable about
that was a nice stalemate.
Yeah, because basically they told Joe that's he's yours all night.
Yeah, wherever he go, you go.
He's yours all night. Maris Leofau might be that guy. Maris Leofau,
we have a lineage of having guys like that. A lineage of guys. Manti, then Jalen, and you got Joker, and you got Kyle. So the defense has that player every year that floats and does their thing. So maybe this is Maris' year if he stays healthy.
Yeah, that's a good point. But like I said, the run game is paramount, and we've been preaching that specifically the last 2 weeks. And then it made me feel good when I heard Marcus Freeman step before the media and say this on yesterday.
I've said this before, is that I think we have to have a mindset that we want to be able to establish a run game offensively, but with the thought process that having a run game offensively opens up so many different options in terms of pass games, in terms of other things offensively. But I think we have to have the ability to establish a run game, take care of the football, be disciplined in what we're doing defensively. It's the same mindset we want to be attacking. We got to be multiple different fronts, multiple different looks. But again, it's the ability defensively to stop the run. If you can't stop the run defensively, you're opening up so many different areas in terms of being vulnerable to the offense. As special teams, we got to be superior in our special teams play. And that's a challenge that I put on Coach Mason, our special teams coordinator, and all of our special teams unit.
You mentioned stopping the run, but obviously this is a team that throws it very well too. What concerns you the most about their offense?
If you don't stop the run, right, they'll run it all day long. And so the ability to stop the run is most important. And then, yeah, we know they're very talented in throwing the ball. But it's the mindset. If you can't stop the run, they can throw it, they can run it, they can do whatever they want to do. And we have to be able to stop the run and then be able to give different looks defensively that obviously – I'm not going to say we're trying to confuse them, but be able to give them different looks in terms of the pass game.
Hey, Marcus Freeman's a smart man. Coming from Dayton, he understands strategy.
Just
obviously he knows.
In there, didn't he?
I'm just saying. I mean, he went to Wayne High School. Ohio State great Braxton Miller went to Wayne High School. Dynamic quarterback, one of Ohio State's greatest quarterbacks. Shout out to Braxton Miller. But Marcus Freeman and having strategy understands. If you let Ohio State run the football, they're going to do whatever they want. Throwing would be the least of your concerns because the talent will flourish all around because then it's just they call them whatever they want on us. He understands that shutting that run game down is the game between the game. Is where we have to get in their headspace. And maybe it's confusing them in the run game, confusing the blocking schemes with our twists and stunts and blitzes and all the things that we have involved. Because if we can confuse the run game and stifle it and put C.J. Stroud in 2nd and 12, 3rd and 8, uncomfortable positions, it's okay. That makes it challenging. Yeah, you can have a talented offense, but you 3rd and 8 all game, it takes a lot. It takes a lot. So if we can put them in longer down in distances when it matters in the 3rd and 4th or whatever, we'll be in a good position.
Especially when you're rushing 4. You're 3rd and 8 all the time with 7 dropping into coverage. And I think that's one of the things that most people, matter of fact, this comment right here, this question from James Althans. I hope I said your name correctly, James. I'm sorry if I did not. Thank you for tapping in. How's Indy secondary looking? Also got to keep OSU off the scoreboard to be able to keep running the ball. That's kind of, I think you have to run the ball first to minimize their possessions. which puts more pressure on them to have to score. It's almost like Notre Dame has to have the Navy mentality. Like Navy always wanted to minimize you guys' possessions because you knew they were going to run the ball and run the clock. And if you didn't score a touchdown, it almost felt like you missed on 2 possessions because you were going to get limited possessions against them. And Notre Dame's much more talented than Navy. So it's not apples and oranges. But what I'm saying is that offensive line of Harry Easton and that run game, and Marcus Freeman talked about that. You have to be able to establish the run and run the ball. But what makes them feel like they have to score every time they get the ball, especially if you're running the ball.
But that's not true only because just like we have to stop Ohio State's running game, we have to be able to throw the football when it matters.
Oh, that's without question.
Huh?
Oh, that's without question.
But that's the underlying value of what Tyler Buckner is going to bring.
Yeah.
If Tyler Buckner is hitting them 20-yard go routes and deep passes and continuing drives on 10+ yard plays, we're in great position.
Yeah.
That's the if we do that, we're winning the game.
You see, like, Notre Dame is Scorpion, right? I love Scorpion. Some people like Sub-Zero and Mortal Kombat. I'm a Scorpion dude, right? So with Scorpion, Notre Dame's gonna come in with the run game early, and those are gonna be the uppercuts.
Yeah, we going in haymakers. We ain't
those are gonna be the uppercuts, right?
Yeah.
But then Tyler Buckner with the passing game, that's when you throw the hook and say, "Get over here."
No, that's the spin. That's the spin elbow.
Oh, that's the spin elbow.
Yeah, because you don't be it kind of takes a while to develop, but if it hits, that's crazy. That's a highlight. Somebody hit you with that spin elbow, it's like, you fell for it, and we got you.
Yeah.
That's a knockout blow.
I almost said Notre Dame was gonna have to be raiding because they want to shock the world. But then I thought that would have been a little corny,
Yeah, shocking the world as if we was like, Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan shocked the world.
You're crazy. I would be shocked if Michigan even figures out their quarterback situation in the next 3 weeks. Lucky Lefty podcast. But what you said is right. It's going to come down to the passing game being able to put up points.
It's going to come down to them release packages. Are them release packages going to be shown on 3rd down against Ohio State?
I'm going to be looking for the close-up on Braden Lindsey one-on-one with a DB early in the game.
Oh, yeah, how they cut away. They cut away in the broadcast and show individual play. It better be Lindsey with some crazy getting off the line, smacking the dude's hands, separate. I'm talking about it needs to be all of that. Kirk Herbstreit needs to be like, look at Braden Lindsey's release package and mention it.
Oh, man.
And mention it. Talking about, man.
Like, he beats the man on a go route. He come back and Kurt said, man, Braden Lindsey said he had a
release package.
Man, I would die. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Look, the offensive line is Ohio State. If you listen to Ohio State people, they have concerns. They can try to cover it up with how awesome they think the offense is going to be. But they have concerns. They like their tackles, and they like their backup tackles. Interior of the offensive line, they worry about it just a little bit. And I said it on yesterday. I think the interior guys on the other side for Notre Dame, Jason Adamiola, Jacob Lacey, Howard Cross, Chris Smith, Jason Onye, Tyson Ford, even Riley Mills, if he gets kicked inside, and some NASCAR turbo packages on 3rd down, they have to dominate. They have to dominate. And that's where you get the push in the run game. Like, reset this line of scrimmage and set the edges and lock Travion Henderson and the rest of the running backs, Miami Williams, shut them down.
But the thing is, we're Notre Dame guys. We're not going to be out of position. It ain't like we just been getting outflanked or, guys just running around us and we missing the response. Our responsibility with the running game and Trayvon Henderson is tackling.
That's a good point.
We're going to be in the right spot. I'm not
It won't be about the calls.
Listen, the scheme is the scheme. We got Al Golden. Come on. Come on. We're going to be in the right spots.
That's a T-shirt.
Is Jack Kaiser going to run by somebody or is he going to tackle somebody? Is Bo Bauer going to time the blitz right, be in the backfield? Is he going to miss CJ or he going to sack CJ? We get the stretch outside. Is Isaiah Fauski holding the edge and cleaning up or is he letting them get outside? That's the question. Are we going to rally to the ball? Or are we going to let a guy break a tackle, make a guy miss, ESPN highlight top 10 on Monday? Which one is it? And I think that's what Marcus Freeman is more excited and concerned about. He knows we're going to be prepared. J.D. Bertrand said we was prepared last year.
That's what he said.
Marcus Freeman knew they was prepared last year and was like, that wasn't enough. We need tacklers. We need bodies. We need athleticism. Is that going to show up? We know that everybody knows we're smart. We're not fooling nobody that we're going to be well coached. We'll fool somebody if we blowing up plays in the backfield. We solo tackling Trayvon Henderson in the open field for the minimum. You know, that's what's going to be the impressive part about our defense. Not that we going to be in the right places now. You know, you got to have a 3.9, a 4.7 to get in Notre Dame anyway. So we smart football players, but is the physicality going to match up?
You talk about that. That comes down to key moments, like that 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 you talked about. Blitz, you missed the tackle, he gets extra time. Wide receiver gets open because he gets an extra 1 or 2 seconds. You know, so he reverses field, gets away from the coverage, gets away from the DB. They complete a pass, keep the drive going. Those are the type of big plays that you can't allow to happen. You have to be sound.
Get off the field.
You have to be fundamental, man. Don't
let them convert 3rd and 17. You know, we get a sack and do a good play. 3rd and 12, get some gain of 20. Can't get off the field. Everybody like, you know, so gotta stay.
Marcus Freeman gave his thoughts on Ohio State as a team.
Games, maybe they didn't have as much success offensively, but they won or maybe they didn't win, you know, and then there's games that they had a ton of success offensively, and they won and or maybe they didn't win. You know, I look at the Oregon game and, you know, Oregon offensively was able to run the ball and do some different things. And I know we're facing a different defense, but, you know, still the ability to establish a run game offensively, you know, and Ohio State's offense was really good that game. And then you look at the Michigan game, again, it was the ability for Michigan to run the ball, you know. And, again, I know we're talking about a different defense of scheme, but the ability to run the ball, the ability to establish a run game, to open up different areas in the pass game, to me is really important, you know. And then you look at a game like Utah where they're going back and forth and you know, the ability for Ohio State in that second half to find a way to score when they needed to and get a stop when they needed to. You know, I think there isn't a common theme. You know, I think the ability to – you look at some of the games I think they've lost in the past couple of years, and offensively you got to be able to, you know, take control of the game in terms of holding on to the football, in terms of establishing long drives. And that's going to be something that we have to do if we want a chance to win this game. You got to limit their offensive possessions. And how do you do that? It's not just defensively, it's offensively, being able to establish long drives. And that will be a challenge for our offense, our defense, and special teams. I think you got to be superior, as I said earlier.
See this, let me, this is why we love the Lucky Lefty Nation. And when you guys tune into us, because we can read between the lines. You see these lines? You see how we can read? Let me tell you what Marcus Freeman is really telling y'all out there. He's saying we need to go in there and take their heart. And that's running the football. And he tried to sugarcoat it and say, because you can tell, because he only mentioned the losses. He ain't talk nothing about what Ohio State did good. He said, if you look at that Michigan game, that's the last game of the season. He said, if you look at that Oregon game, that's the first game of the season. He only thinking about what they don't do good. And his common denominator was, you know what it was? They took their heart by running that football. Marcus Freeman told you before fall camp even started. He said, we're going to be physical in running that football. We're going to be tough in that middle of the field. We're going to be tough in that middle of the defense. You know why? Because we taking hearts. What does Alabama do when they take the heart out of a team? They run the ball. The passing and all that stuff is a compliment to a Najee Harris. Teams are afraid of Najee Harris. They ain't afraid of Mac Jones and all that. They afraid of Najee Harris. Because Najee Harris go crazy, start jumping over people and throwing people out of bounds and destroying blockers and stuff. That's the stuff that you like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But if we go in there and smacking up Travion Henderson and all Coach Alfred's henchmen, and we shut that thing down, it's gonna be a problem because you don't have enough heart in the pass game, is what Marcus Freeman is saying. Marcus Freeman said, yeah, y'all had all them receivers, yeah, that was all great. But what Michigan do? Took your heart. Man, I was watching that Michigan game second half. Them boys just running with the running back. Running back busted that hole, they just start running with him. Look like Indian run. They wasn't trying to tackle them boys. And that's what Marcus Freeman noticed. He said, if you look at them losses, what happened? You get a Purdue loss. Rondale Moore took their heart. They throwing screens around Rondale Moore. He breaking tackles, spinning off a guy, jumping over dudes. Taking their heart. Ohio State is like, I'm going to give you a perfect analogy. Ohio State is the bully at school. And you the kid that keep getting bullied at school. But you got the confidence now. You're like, you know what? Enough of this. Everybody's going to tell you, oh, you need to tell the authorities. Oh, you need to talk to your teachers. You need to keep the ball away. Oh, you need to not let them get on. You need to keep away, hide, run, do everything. But what's Marcus Freeman say? Go punch him in the nose. Go punch the bully in the nose. I don't care if you get suspended, but he ain't going to mess with you no more. That's what Marcus Freeman is telling the college football board. We're going as the bully. The Ohio State's the bully. We punching him in the nose. We ain't finna hide our stuff in the locker so he can't find it. We ain't finna get a bunch of guys around us so we travel in packs. We like, no, we see that bully. He's sitting in third period class. We wait till he get out, and we going to punch him in the nose when he get out of class, period. And he ain't going to mess with the whole school ever again. That's what we going in there to do. And I'm glad Marcus Freeman, he got to sugarcoat it, but in between the lines, that's what we here for because we spin it different.
Lucky Lefty podcast. We lead the running game alone. You just pointed it out. You just showed. Reading in between the lines, I do it backwards. What Marcus Freeman had to say. There's a lot of concern about the secondary, bro. We talk, look, simply for the linebackers, as you said, our linebackers are going to be in position. I think Marcus Freeman pointed that out. That was one of the first things that Al Golden said when he had a chance to start installing his system. He asked Marcus Freeman, like, dude, I'm amazed at how smart these dudes are. It's like, dude, it's Notre Dame.
Yeah.
You give them information, they don't catch that. That's not a problem. Can they execute? They're going to be in position. Can they make the tackle? Now, the secondary, look, this is the question. You have 4, 5 people in the secondary the majority of the time, right? Because it's new age. You're going to have a nickel on the field the majority of the time in college football, right? Give me another team that has 3 players you can be confident in out of the 5.
You just want a secondary?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can't name 3. I'm 3. I'm confident in 3. Tariq, Cam, and Brandon Joseph.
Yeah. Right? Coming into last season, you might have been confident in 1. One and a half.
And Cam was earning it.
And Cam was surging. And I know I got Joe Long is always talking about, man, Cam, you guys don't know Cam isn't that good. Look, if teams don't throw at him, he has to be something. I don't care what the film shows.
I think he'll get a lot of action on Ohio State game because people don't think he that good. And that's what we find out why we like our guy Cam Hart.
All I know is Cam Hart, Tariq Bracy, and Brandon Joseph, I'm good.
I'm good. That's winning 95% of the games out there.
I'm good. Have no concern. Doesn't mean that they won't give up a big play.
No. But they're not mentioning that. That's the three we like on top of Palski, Adamiola, Mills, Collie, Maris. I mean, come on. What are we talking about?
It's like, man, I just don't, and this is the crazy thing. The kid that's had the best offseason is the kid that's going to be going up against their best receiver. Like, if you really had an opportunity to watch Tariq Bracy play in practice, you would be like, okay. And he ended the season playing phenomenally. You go watch his tape in the Fiesta Bowl. Tariq Bracy was, man, really good. Really good. Cam Hart, Tariq Bracy, Brandon Joseph. It's like, relax, yo. It's like you told me last year when I was complaining about the offensive line. You were like, Shaun, you're spoiled. You're used to Notre Dame's offensive line being great. And now we've come back to the pack and we're just normal.
Yeah, the pack, not behind the pack. We the pack.
Now we're just normal like everybody else in college football, and now you don't like it. And you were right. And as they implemented the youngsters, Kristofic and Joe Alt, they got better as an offensive line because the players were better, and they began to come on, and Jack Cohn began to play better behind that offensive line. And, and I think that's kind of what I want to put out there to LL Nation and just Notre Dame fans in general. Like, you might not be used to having a Notre Dame secondary that is great, right? But you've had Julian Love and you've had, Harrison Smith, Z Mont. You've had some good secondaries at Notre Dame. They've been sparse, right? I don't know what happened to Gary Gray, but Gary Gray for 2 years was really good. Darren Walls for 2 seasons. He was a good defensive back.
Yeah.
Tom Zibikowski was a good safety. Like, Notre Dame has had players in the secondary. So Notre Dame's secondary they've been middle of the pack. What we're trying to say is your normal college secondary is average.
It's average.
There's only maybe 4 or 5 secondaries in the nation that are really good.
As a collective.
Flat out really good.
Mm.
And then everybody else
is average.
Right? It's rare to get a Kobe Bryant or Ahmad Gardner.
It's rare to get a Brandon Joseph, Cam Hart, Tariq Bracy combo.
It's rare.
It's rare.
Yeah.
And we deal with the top percentages of talent. So us not having 25 stars is rare because people don't expect us to be average on a daily consistency. That's why they get upset with us all the time.
And that's where coaching comes in as well, right?
Yes.
And scheme and coaching to the strengths of your players. I don't think that the defense necessarily coach to the strengths of everybody in the secondary. And let's be real, losing Kyle Hamilton meant something to that secondary. And that's a huge call, right? And they didn't have someone to step up and be that impact guy, be that versatility guy. They went and got that guy. They went and got him. He's a first-round pick too. They got him. So now you look at the maturation of Tariq Bracy. Look, You think Cam Hart's a second rounder, third rounder? You think he's like a? I saw that boomer dude on Twitter. Cam Hart wasn't even top 50 DBs in the nation. All right, fine. You're not impressed by Cam Hart. That's cool. As long as teams don't throw at him, it helps Notre Dame. That's all that matters. What you think doesn't matter. What those offensive coordinators think, that's all that matters. If the OCs and the quarterbacks don't want to throw his way, then guess what? That helps Notre Dame. That helps Notre Dame because every week we know we don't have to worry about that side of the field. Cam is good. Let's lock down the rest. I just don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm not about to be caught up on the Fiesta Bowl.
No.
I'm not. I'm not about to be caught up on the Fiesta Bowl. I understand from game one last year. I understand Clarence Lewis. I understand the bust that happened in the secondary. I understand the lack of tackling. All I'm saying is, if you trust Harry Heastand to come in and get that offensive line right, then you might as well trust Al Golden to come in and get that secondary right. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a position where we don't give ourselves the excuse no more. I think that's what's changed a lot this year is that the excuses that we're used to giving, we fixed our own excuses. So right now, there's nothing that we haven't addressed that have been concerns for us in the past.
Yeah.
We got to improve defense.
Yeah.
We got better linebackers instead that don't have speed, can't tackle. We addressed that. We addressed not having a strong front seven. We addressed that. We addressed the secondary questions. We addressed that. So going into it, at least as a Notre Dame fan, I can't say, well, we don't recruit that. Oh, we can't get that. Oh, that's just a weakness we have. No, we have elite and expected to be elite talent at all the positions where we have naturally given excuses to.
Yeah.
So for us, the difference between us and Ohio State is giving themselves excuses. First year defensive coordinator. Oh, that front seven's in question. Oh, the D-line's in question. We like them, but, we wait and see. For us, we don't have no excuses. We're ready to go. Y'all saying 17 and a half. Y'all saying, we finna get blown out, this, that. It's like, man, we don't have no reason why we don't win. We just looking to go play. So I feel good where we at.
I had a comment that I saw was interesting as we get ready to get out of it. R. Riley said if Ohio State is kept under 250 yards, then I would say Indy, that's unrealistic.
Yeah, that's
like, what are you talking about? Like, they put up 400 yards a game, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
Stop looking for some miraculous performance.
No miraculous. I'm not looking for no miraculous.
No. If Notre
that means we got lucky.
Running attack, dude, they lost to Oregon, and all of their losses, C.J. Stroud in the passing was not a problem.
No.
They're going to pass the ball. That's not every secondary got torched. Penn State held them to like 24, 27 points, and the yards were crazy offensively.
Crazy.
What Penn State did was made it tough on Travion Henderson, and that's why they stayed in the game. You have the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft you're facing. You're not about to hold him to 250 yards. I don't care. There's no secondary in the country that's about to hold him to 250 yards.
No.
Alabama's not doing it.
Maybe Georgia's defense.
No. Their secondary is they don't have the same.
I'm saying the defense, not the back end, just the total defense.
They don't have.
They probably would have had him around 300 though.
Are you talking about last year's Georgia defense?
Yeah, last year's Georgia defense. They probably would have had him around 280, 300.
I mean, I saw what Bryce did to him.
Bryce didn't have no 400-yard game either though.
He had about three bills.
Yeah, I'm saying he'll be around 250 to 300.
All I'm saying is when he had his 2 receivers, he made it look real easy. That's all I'm saying.
That's true.
And that's what I'm talking about, the totality of this Ohio State offense. It's like you can't say keep them under 250 and you prove to me that you're a good secondary. That's no. Like, I can see if you said 350, and it's like, okay. Then you kind of played them even. Like, you didn't let them get over 400. Dude, they almost averaged 400 yards passing last year as an offense. They
I
put
think
up
if
47
you're
points
smart,
a game.
let's just say biases aside, if you're being smart, Vegas is pumping you up with this Ohio State thing. Let's just be objectively right on this.
Dude, what did you say yesterday? You felt like they could hold them to 28 points, right?
I think we can hold them right under 30. 30 and under. Just because I have so much faith in Foskey coming back, secondary improving, Al Golden, James Laurinaitis, Marcus Freeman got it buzzing. We never been blown out at those games before.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember no last time we've been blown out on some, like, just run the clock type of situation. No.
Yeah.
So, because our history itself, I don't think there's going to be a blowout. But I do think we can manage their points by playing close the whole game. All I got to do is get close to – if we get to the fourth, we straight. Look, if we get to the fourth within that 7 to 10 range, down or up, we straight. We straight.
Look, man, understand this. CJ Stroud can put up 400 yards. But if he throws 2 picks and turns the ball over on a strip sack, there's so many different ways this game can go, and you can look at the performance in the secondary. It's another thing we said. You can't judge Tariq Bracy. Jackson, Smith and Jigba is going to have 10 receptions.
Yeah,
he's going to have like 15 to 17 targets.
Like, these guys are good, man. This isn't no bum team. Like, these are good.
You're going to get 8 to 10 receptions. And you can't look at Tariq Bracy and be like, oh, man, you stunk. That dude, he's a dog. He's a dog. Nobody's lining up one-on-one and stopping him.
We respect the fact that we acknowledge he's good. We're not finna act like he not finna have something. He's going to have an impact in the game for sure.
We just want to make it hard on him.
Yeah, like shutting him down is not a part of the game plan.
No, when he catches the ball, hit him.
Yes, tackle him on the reception. That's the game plan. As soon as he catch it, bring him down.
Bring him down.
If he catch it and get the running and doing dancing and all that, see, that's where you get in trouble.
That's when it's too much.
But if he can catch it, tackle, we straight. We can live with that. We can live with that.
Because they're going to make sure they put the ball in his hands.
Yes. We're not going to stop him from touching it. He's going to get a reverse. He's going to get a short screen, anything, deep try, over the middle.
All of that. They might put him in the backfield.
They are going to give him the ball. Our thing is he going to turn a 5-yard into a 50 or a 5 into a 10? Or a 5 into a 5 or a 6? I'm good with that.
That is ultimately the key. And so for people that feel all this consternation about the secondary, I get it. I'm not telling you shouldn't feel that way. I'm just telling you. And I'm really talking big picture.
Yeah.
Right? Because when I say this big picture. I said it yesterday. When you get to week 5 or 6 of this season, and Morrison and Mickey really start to emerge.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a problem because now we got depth.
They're going to be a problem.
Yeah.
They're going to be a problem, right? Unfortunately, they're true freshmen. They won't be at that level week 1.
No.
But as they get better, the secondary is going to be a problem.
Yeah, by USC, we should be hitting that. All right, we got some guys we can give Brandon Joseph a breather. Give Cam a breather and not miss a beat. By SC game, because that's what, 5th game of the season?
I can tell you by week 3 or 4.
Yeah, coming off of Cal Marshall, them boys gonna be ready.
If Clarence Lewis isn't playing good by weeks 3 or 4, it could be a wrap. I'm being honest. They on his arm. They are on his tail, bro. Benjamin Morrison is on his tail.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to encourage Clarence Lewis to play better.
It should.
Because he knows, like, yo, I got some dudes on me.
Because you can always go to SC, Michigan. You can always transfer to a worse school.
Yeah. Yeah.
But right now, where we are with DBs, you better be ready to, do something.
So how do you feel right now? We are Tuesday of game week. This matchup, ultimately, how do you think it's going to play out the Notre Dame defense against the Ohio State offense?
We got to, in my opinion, emphasize tackle after run, tackle after catch, or first contact, tackle after first contact. And we got to get a game-changing turnover in the second half, specifically. We need damn near 2 game-changing turnovers in the second half. I promise you we'll win on those 2 things alone. We tackle in the open field, and we get 2 game-changing turnovers in the second half, we'll win the game.
Are you cool with Marcus Freeman saying he's a deferred guy on the coin toss if he wins?
Defense.
The defense coming out.
I know he want to run out there first.
Yeah.
Which I'm cool with. I'm just like, listen, it's important that we focus on the extracurricular after the initial play or initial contact, because that's where Ohio State separates themselves from other teams. Because if we think about it, their offense is not Kyle Shanahan. They run a bunch of goals and hitches and slants too.
Yeah.
They ain't running nothing that CJ Stroud is going to take that offense to the NFL and be productive with. So it's not a scheme matchup. It's are we going to tackle them and not let them get extra yards? And can we make them be uncomfortable enough to turn it over where they have to score instead of scoring out of luxury? I think if we can put CJ in a mental position of, I need to score to keep us in the game because the defense can't hold up, or I have to score when it matters in the late minutes, Michael Jordan Heisman moment. Those are the positions we got to put him in. Because other than that, like, he's going to get a bunch of yards. That's how they are. They built to get a bunch of yards and all of that. Bend but don't break is important for our defense. Don't be discouraged because they getting big plays and doing different things because they have special players. But when they get to that red zone, we got to lock in.
You know it. Lucky Lefty Podcast. We thank you for joining us today. Brought to you by Onora Whisky at NoraWhisky.com. That premium American whiskey at NoraWhisky.com. And if you drink, indeed, make sure that you drink responsibly. Hit the like button. Hit the share button. Hit the notification bell so you'll know each and every time we drop content. Still waiting to get our new graphics and everything locked up. Until then, we're Lucky Lefty, but we're still in connection. Follow us on Locked On Irish. Still in connection with Locked On Podcast Network. Follow us on Twitter at Locked On Irish. And then we'll be available on all audio platforms. Go and set it up to download at Locked On Irish. We greatly appreciate you. Bro, you already know what time it is.
Petticoat, petticoat, petticoat junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing. Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you. You don't? No.
What is today's petty historic Petty Junction?
Petticoat Junction.
That's right. Petty Junction. Petty stories of the day. Onora Whisky. Let's get to it. Petty story of Man, I need your boy, LeBron James, on the petty train. It's like every time, look, man, let Savannah have her day, bro. It's her day, her shine. Let her do her thing, man.
What you mean?
In the videos, doing all the extra stuff, doing all the extra dancing and flossing. Man, relax. Relax. Petty train. Everyone that was at that BYU volleyball game against Duke, bro.
They even racist to the volleyball players, man.
And heard what was going on. It's just not about the dude. Everybody that was around that said nothing, you're complicit. You're complicit. I don't care if you liked it or didn't like it. Man, point that dude out. Like, hey, I told you. You know my stance on fans. If I'm sitting next to you in the stands and you heckling, I'm pointing you out to security. Like, hey, it's him right here. It's him right here.
Is that what you do at White Sox games, man?
Dude, I don't do that, man. You don't get to just call players out of their name and say stuff about their families and all their mamas and all that stuff. No, we don't do that. We don't do that. I have to put you on the petty train. I have to. That's just clown behavior.
Clown behavior, dude. And Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears, man. For making this cat Justin Fields suffer through this for a whole nother season. You tanking for Stroud? Tanking for Young? What are you tanking for?
No, they're not gonna take another quarterback because they won't be that bad. And they're not in tank mode. They're just in, we're not spending any money because we got a boatload of cap space next off season, and we're gonna go get some free agents. Like, you see what they're doing. It's like, okay, we're not helping them out this year. We'll help them out next year. You're gonna have to take this one for the team this season, bro.
Damn.
Like, you can't be mad because you say, okay, at least they have a plan. At least they have a plan.
Not for Justin Fields, though. He could take a wallop.
No, they have a plan for the team. And that's when you just pray that he stay healthy. Like, just please keep him healthy. Until next season, we can get him offensive line. He has decent running backs. And they have to get at least one receiver or draft one receiver. That's pretty good. Any petty trains for you?
No, it's been a solid Tuesday right now.
You can put Holly Rowe in the petty train.
She's too much.
You can put her on the petty train, man. I know you're mad because I put your boy LeBron on the petty train, but I had to.
Man, LeBron been on the petty train a lot in the last couple months, man. He just be doing a lot, you know.
And he needs to stop. He needs to, he just loves attention, bro. He loves attention. Like, you go to your kids' game, sit down and watch the game. You don't have to be in the baseline dancing, doing all the other stuff. Dude, sit down. Be a parent. Enjoy the game, man. Take these L's. Watch Steph Curry get more titles than you. That's what you do. Damn. Watch Steph Curry and Klay Thompson end up with more titles. That's going to be the end of your career, bro. While you focused on trying to catch Mike, it's like in your hair. Here comes Klay Thompson and the GSW. Do you realize Draymond Green is going to have more titles than LeBron James? Think about that.
No, he won't.
That hurt. That hurt when you heard that.
No, he won't. See, why y'all just be doing the most, man?
Hey, we appreciate you, LL Nation. Lock in. Locked on Irish. We'll see. People laughing at you. We'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode. We'll definitely get into more of what Marcus Freeman said at his press conference, specifically about wanting to defer and put his defense on the field. And then we'll break down the Notre Dame offense against that pig with new lipstick Ohio State defense. That's all they are. Same pig, different makeup.
That's right.
We'll talk about it tomorrow right here on the Lucky Lefty podcast. Have a great day. Most of all, make sure